Nice to come back home and continue the momentum you picked up in the Game 3 against Wake Forest.
Yeah, it was looked like it was going to be a very tough midweek game right up until the rain delay. Boy, it just looked like it was going to be a huge offensive night. The wind was gushing out. The hitters seemed to be locked in. Liggett, kind of quiets their offense, and then we get the rain delay. And I had no idea. Lessman, Detmers, and West give up one hit and one walk in 5 innings. So got to give our bullpen a lot of credit tonight. And we keep telling these guys, man, we're talented. It's a lot of talented pitchers. So don't get caught up with who's starting the game. Every out is huge. And I thought our guys that came out of the bullpen were excellent.
I want to go back to Wake Forest a little bit. You went to the change and you had Riley start on the Saturday. What was the thought process behind, let's make a change there and put Riley on the mound?
No, that was, Forbes gets a at-bat because I'm trying to get my great two-way player back in the mix, and I want to give him a little bit of mojo to take maybe some of the pressure off just pitching, and he takes an HBP off the hand, and his hand was just swollen, couldn't close the glove, and so like the lap pull he had to start the year, he's gonna have another setback here with his hand, and as we've been going back and forth, it's just it's part of college baseball. Sometimes the adversity piles up on you, and my hope is that Patrick he learns, he grows. You get tougher when you go through these storms, and it's a long year. So I keep telling everybody, it's a long year. So let's try to get Patrick healthy. But it is a good feeling knowing you got a guy like Riley Thompson. This guy's pitched in regionals and super regionals, and his experience, Riley Phillips, and so and that was the challenge from a couple weeks ago when Forbes didn't pitch. Like, come on, guys, man, step up and take advantage of the opportunity, and we did that in Game 3 against Wake Forest.
Tyler Rose had another good game tonight. Only came a home run shy of the cycle. How has he kind of progressed as a hitter and as a player overall since the start of the season?
It's obviously it's a high energy kid, which really helps him. It's a hardworking kid. It's a super competitive kid, and he just doesn't seem to be on a roller coaster of highs and lows. This is, hey, I'm playing. I'm gonna play with juice. I'm gonna play with energy, and it's just, man, it's a high motor, and that motor I think brings out the best in him because he's playing great. I mean, that's a tough catch he makes in the first inning. That's not an easy catch for a guy that, we could say he's an outfielder, but he catches and he does a lot. So. He's playing good, and that's, like I said, I think on Saturday, one of my challenges is trying to keep these outfielders going. So even in a fairly close game tonight, I run Lippy and Moore and King out there because those guys have been in the starting lineup plenty of times this year. So we got good depth in the outfield. I just need to keep those guys going, and we feel like, obviously, the pitching staff we got a lot of talented arms, so that was a great night tonight.
The ACC, every year, but it seems even more so this year. It's obviously one of the tough leagues, and you got Florida State coming up. Can you what kind of lessons were you able to take away from Wake Forest? We had Zion over here a minute ago, and he kind of insinuated that some of the rookies, some of the freshmen, kind of got a little, wow, this is ACC play. So what can the team take away from Wake Forest going down to this one?
You hope. We opened up the year with Virginia Tech and Wake Forest. They could be regional hosts when it's all said and done, and we're going to another place that looks like they obviously have a resume, and how the year goes could be another regional host. So the ACC seems to be loaded, and right out of the chute, we're getting a lot of the programs that got off to great starts this year, and they're playing good. And I hope Zion learned, like everybody. The game is the game. You just got to throw strikes. And you got to play defense. And when you get a chance to score, you got to score. You don't get many chances off of Burns. We had a chance and we didn't. And Zion hit the solo jack. It was 1-0. It could have been 2-0. It doesn't mean you win the game, but when you're facing those type of arms, when you get an opportunity to score, you got to capitalize on it. But again, if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy. So. Great challenge heading down to Florida State.
chances to get a couple of your infielders back healthy for this weekend, or?
Yeah, I think Keelan more so. Just we're being a little cautionary with the ankle and want to give him a few more days to get healthy. Anderson maybe a little bit more like the start of the year, where we just we put a lot on his plate, and of course he looked great when we put him back in the lineup. But looking back now, I probably wish I'd have maybe just played him every other day or something like that. So we just go back to the drawing board. Let's let him get healthy. Again, we got a long season, and of course, what did we learn from last year? It's hard to win down the stretch if you're not healthy. Some of it's inevitable. I mean, some things you just can't avoid, but other things, I want to make good decisions and use these opportunities to just get other guys out there. You saw Dylan Hoy play really good at short, and I mean, Logan Beard, I said it, even when Anderson came back and looked like the best hitter on our team, I always felt like for this team to do what it's capable of doing, I think of Beard, Humphrey, and Benson, because they've been around the longest. We need those guys to play well. They played well on Saturday against Wake Forest, and we won. And I don't say that to put pressure on those guys, but I think they know that, and they want that. They want the burden of, hey, we're the old guys. Some young guys will help us, and we'll get production from a lot of players. But when those old guys step in and compete and play like that, man, it takes a lot off everybody.
Great. Appreciate it.